What's going on, guys? My name is Rumble Skrash. In today's video we are gonna be talking about what team is the best to invest for. I think in the future in PvP there's gonna be like the monocolor meta that I'm gonna be calling it. So it's gonna be the quick meta, also including the side meta, and there's also gonna be really good dex teams and in teams. I mean, strength, yeah, there's some good variation of strength, but I don't think it's close to being the meta. We're gonna have to see with that new legend kit, but unfortunately, I don't think he's gonna be able to bring strength to the top teams. But yeah, so basically we have a four-color meta. I mean, obviously there's some team stronger than the other, but we're gonna be talking about on future Sugo Fest and what are the legends that you should be pulling for or not. To summarize, what are the teams that you should be aiming for in PvP if you are free to play or if you have, say, a lot of gems saved and stuff like that. Because yes, the quick team is probably, and I think it's definitely gonna be the strongest one of the teams, but it's really expensive PvP wise, well, free to play wise, because you have to pull on a lot of different banners to get all the units, and I'm gonna be talking precisely about that, and then also talking about the side team, the dex team, and stuff like that, and how many gems approximately it will take you to get these teams guaranteed. So obviously it's gonna be probably much less gems than that, because you're not gonna go for every legend to the guaranteed step. But yeah, so I'm here at the JP version, by the way, because all the units that I'm gonna be talking about have not released in global, so there's no point in being in the global version. So I'm gonna be showing you. So this would be an example of a quick team. Now, as you can see, I managed to actually pull the new Luffy on the first discount multi, which was kind of insane. But you can see that my units are really understats, because I cannot have them fully max limit broken or with tablets and stuff like that. So I am not able to test at its full all these teams, but I have some info from JP players and stuff like that, and I'm gonna be talking about that. But yeah, first I want to just talk about the teams, analyze what the units do like really quick, and telling you what options do you have to inside these kind of teams to run, and then how many gems approximately it will take you to build that team. And I'm going to be doing that of each team, so of each of the four teams, and then I'm going to be talking about what how do they perform against each other, and what team do I recommend you guys investing on. So first, here's the quick team. Now, all these units are really good for the quick meta. Now, the anniversary Luffy, for example, I'm not gonna be counting the anniversary units, because I was expecting them to change the meta, and apparently, I mean, they could be, but apparently they are not changing the meta. So yeah, there's not, and there's gonna be 3 months between Ace versus Akainu and the Luffy. So if you wanna build a quick team, you have 3 months to save gems for the Luffy. So I think that's a relatively good time. So yeah, I mean, I don't think the anniversary legends should throw away your savings of gems and stuff like that if you want to pull for one of them. If you want to pull for all of them, then yeah, then you should consider saving gems now. But yeah, so this is normally what a quick team looked like before that Luffy. So we have here Legend Kaido. Legend Kaido, I would say, is the main unit in a quick team. So without Legend Kaido, I would say it's very difficult to build a good quick team, because he's so good. Now, I know what he does, so I'm gonna be telling you what he does really fast. The passive will give quick HP up level 5, then defense up level 3, and then for the first 40 seconds of the match, he will give himself attack up level 10 and speed up level 10. So this is actually massive, because he's basically self-sufficient. You can put him in any team and he's gonna be having some buffs to himself, and really massive speed buffs and attack buffs, which is really good for his special, because on a really low cooldown, 26 seconds, he will give on a large radial range defense down level 3 for 5 seconds, but the defense is just for the special, because he will be giving a 2 times attack multiplier in a large radial range, which is an amazing range. And will probably target a lot of units, and then will paralyze a 50% chance to all units, I think, or the units that he targets. The paralysis is not really that essential, and well, he has resistance over the strength damage, but all these new units have resistance against the opposite color. So he was one of the first units. I think he was the first unit to have this kind of resistance, but all the other good legends in PvP after that they have been having that. So yeah, so Kaido is really essential because basically the quick team is gonna be a very heavy defense down team, because apart from PvP Whitebeard on the bench, for example in this variation, you also have this Legend Magellan. So Legend Magellan is also really good because he will give also HP up level 5, and then he will give also to quick attack up level 5, and then for the first 30 seconds of the match I think he will buff his own special city by level 2. I'm pretty sure it's just to himself, not to the rest of the units, which is nice because it means that in theory he could be activating before Kaido, and if you see the special, that's gonna be really good. So he will first apply defense on level 3 to I think a large radial range of units, and then he will do the damage, so 1.7, and then he will give a 100% chance of haste to himself and 50% chance of haste to another quick unit on your team. Haste is a complicated thing, but basically just so that you get an idea if you don't already know what it does, it's basically just like the unit attacks again after activating, and then will give a 50% chance of bumping one of your quick units on the top of the chain. So that can be really good. It can be not that relevant, but it can be really game changing in certain situations, at least this Magellan haste. And then he will apply a further defense down level 3 for 20 seconds. So defense down level 6 in total, it's really good. And if he activates before Kaido, and then Kaido activates, then that's a defense down level 9 and a lot of damage. And also you have to count on the damage of, obviously, versus Akainu, which is also a really good unit. He will also give, I'm pretty sure that's HP up, still, HP up level 5 and defense up level 3. So you have two very good units that give you a really high amount of damage with massive defense buffs. So you already have defense up level 6 from the start. So, and also I think for the first 20 seconds of the match he will give himself special city up. Well, so yeah, really good. And then there's other units that you could run. I would say that these three are the main units. You could replace Legend Magellan for some other unit. It would be not that ideal of a team. Like, it would be not the ideal team, but it would still be a really good team. For example, you could use Radium Bellamy, and that would be a nice idea. And then you have this B3 Kuzan. So B3 Kuzan is already on global with the buff, so you know what you can check out what he does. But basically, he will give massive attack and speed. At the very start of the match to quick, well, also to other colors, but basically speed up level 10 and attack up level 10 to quick, and then on a kind of low cooldown he will give massive damage and 100% to special bind the enemy with the highest attack. This team, as you can see, a lot of defense down, a lot of defense actually, a lot of attack up, a lot of speed with the Kuzan, and then a lot of damage. So I put here Stasi because you get even further defense up, so that's gonna be really good, and also some extra speed and stuff like that. But you could use other units like Treasure Map Queen, that's gonna be really good, but it's free to play. Rati Bankov, which is also free to play. Even Bellamy, but you would maybe be a little bit squishy. And yeah, and also you can use the PvP Shiryu that's gonna be coming out after all these quick legends that I have talked about release. So he's gonna be the last unit to come, and he's gonna be a PvP limited rare recruit. So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of options, and obviously with the release of the anniversary Luffy, you can put the anniversary Luffy, I think, instead of B3 Kuzan. But yeah, so the quick team, basically, let's summarize. It's gonna be formed by, maybe if you don't want to pull for the Magellan, at least it's gonna be, you will have to pull on the release, on the debut banner of B2 Kaido and versus Akainu, if you want to kind of guarantee to get this team. So you have to pull on two debut banners of two brand new Suko Fest exclusives. Then you also have to pull maybe in Magellan's banner, and then also in PvP limited rare recruit Shirio's banner. So I want to say approximate number. So let's say I have calculated that a legend is guaranteed in 20 multis, and there's the discount multi, and there's 4 one gem multis, because we have had that structure before. Now I'm not sure if that's gonna be repeated or something like that, but let's just make that assumption. Maybe the legend is guaranteed at 25 multis, we don't know, but at 20 multis in a structure like this, a legend is worth 784 gems. So that is 2 times that. And also keep in mind that in a versus unit release, Sugofes have not been the best, so maybe probably it's gonna be higher, the amount of gems that you need to guarantee yourself Asus versus Akainu if you're unlucky. So yeah, it's 2 times 784, and then you also have the 121 sorry, 181 gems that's gonna be costing the to guarantee the PvP limited rare good Shiryu. And that's counting if you don't wanna build a quick team with Legend Magellan. If you wanna build a quick team with Legend Magellan, probably you'll still need to pull in his debut banner. So that's another 784 gems. So as you can see, that's a lot of gems. Obviously, you're not gonna be probably having to spend all these gems. That's the maximum that you're gonna have to spend, but probably it could be that you get the legend on the first multi, like who knows. So these are just approximate numbers, but it's just to show you guys on the amount of banners that you have to pull. So you have to pull on well, 4, maybe 3 banners to get this team. And that's speaking if you already have the B3 Kuzan, if you have the Stasi, or well, and PvP Whitebeard and stuff like that. But PvP Whitebeard, it's pretty essential for these kind of teams, but also for any teams. But it's a bench unit, like you can replace it by some other bench nuke, but it's ideal to use PvP Whitebeard in the first unit on the bench. Now we're gonna be talking now about the side team. So the side team here, let me tell you that here in my side team in the JP version, I am missing Roger. So Roger is definitely ideal for the side team. So imagine instead of Sanji and Pudding, there's the Roger. So that would be one of the ideal side teams. Also, you can the main 4 units of the side team are gonna be these 4, counting that Sanji Pudding is Roger. And then this 5th unit, it's kind of like in the slasher team in global that you can change around. So you could use B3 Boa, you could use Germa 66, and you can. It's like a kind of a free spot that you can build different units in. So that's gonna be a really important thing when we talk about uh, how does a certain team perform against the other, because as you have kind of a free spot, you can put really cool and interesting units that will be able sometimes to debuff some of the variations. So that's gonna be really good to know. So but it's a really strong team. And the main units, well, we already have Roger, Law, and Boa and Germa 66 on global. So the main units are gonna be Enel and PvP limited rare recruit Rebecca and Toy Soldier. So Enel, really good. He will give defense up level 5 to Sai since the start of the battle, speed up level 5, and then for the first 40 seconds of the battle, he will debuff the slasher special CT by level 5. So yeah, he will be the straight up counter to the slasher teams that we're seeing now on global. So yeah, so as in the future, as slashers are not really gonna be that of a meta, like they're gonna be a good team but not that much of a meta, that special CT down when we have the quick meta active and stuff like that, it's not gonna be that essential. But he's just such a great unit, like defense of level 5 at the start, speed up level 5 on a special of only a 17 turn cooldown, so amazingly low. He will guarantee to target all enemies by 1.1 damage, so not really high, but it's a really low cooldown. You couldn't expect more. And then defense up level 3 and speed up level 5. So he by himself he can give Psy units defense up level 8 and speed up level 10, and that is counting that he will give these buffs for 17 seconds. And Sai with B3 low, you can give them special city up. So it's gonna be kind of easy to give NL special city up, so he can continuously have this buff of the special. So he's definitely really good. And obviously with the defense that it's kind of nice, and the speed is also nice. He is also resisting damage from int units, which is kind of gonna be good for going up against int teams. But yeah, and the Rebecca and Toys Fielder, the other new unit that we don't have in global. It's a PvP limited recruit that will give HP up level 6 to Sai, defense up level 2, and attack up level. Sorry, it's HP up level 5, defense up level 2, and attack up level 6. So basically, the passive is just the passive of the German 66 unit. So it's kind of insane that cost 20 unit, it's giving a similar buffs than a legend. But yeah, so and then the special on a kind of really low cooldown too, 22 seconds only. He will target 2 enemies for 2 times attack. He will give defense on level 3 to I don't know now the range, but to enemies in a kind of an acceptable range. And then he will give a further defense down level 5 to all the slasher units. So yeah, this unit can basically give a total of defense down level 8 to slashers, which is completely broken in my opinion. Like, this unit makes no sense. Like, the passive is good, the special is good, not only against slashers. The special is really good because he gives defense down for 20 seconds, and if you're going up against slashers, you're gonna be destroying them. So you can just destroy Roger, destroy Odin, destroy all the slashers. And yeah, so the good thing though, now that I have explained how the units work, the good thing about the side team is that you only have to pull on one Siq Fest. You only have to pull in the debut Siq Fest of Legend NL, which by the way is a PvP exclusive legend, so you can only pull him in PvP banners. And he releases at the same time of Rebecca and Toy Soldier. So I mean, we don't know for sure, but I'm assuming that on the 5th multi, we're gonna be getting Rebecca and Toy Soldier guaranteed for 191 gems, as we have been having. And then, well, you could have already pulled the NL, but probably NL is gonna be guaranteed in 20 multis, maybe 25. But yeah, so you only have to pull on one Siq Fest to have this amazing team. So this is gonna be the, I would say, cheapest team to build if you already have Roger, obviously, and B3 launch, stuff like that. If you're missing Roger, then probably I wouldn't recommend investing on a side team, because apart from the 7th anniversary, I think JP haven't had another Super Siq Fest, so it's gonna be kind of hard. I mean, probably the French anniversary on this summer is gonna be a Super Siq Fest, I'm assuming. So yeah, you could pull Roger there, but the NL banner would have already passed. So I don't know. You can still invest in a side team. It's really good without Roger, but it's not the same. But yeah, so if you have Roger and B3 low, the side team is a really, really good team to use. So let's talk now about the other two teams. Now let's talk about the Dex team. So as you can see here, that would be an idea of what a Dex team would look like. So let me tell you that these two units are actually free to play. This is a treasure map unit, and this we already have in global. There's other units that can be used in a Dex team, which is this Hiyori, for example, that is also free to play, and other units that you probably already have, like B2 Jinbei, Legend Blackbeard, 6+, obviously, and then, well, this Stampede Frankie. But yeah, so it's kind of really a lot of units, free to play units in the Dex team, so that's really great. Also, these two units are probably the main units. And then the only units that you have to pull for is the PvP limited rare recruit Cavendish and the B3 Zoro, which is basically the best bench nuke. It's kind of like Solomas but better, but well, he's a legend. So if you want to check out the information of B3 Zoro, definitely go check out the link here on top, but just so that you get an idea, he's definitely the best nuke in the game. bench nuke in the game. So yeah, and the Dex team makes a really good use of that because yeah, it's kind of squishy at the very beginning, but if you give them time, they are actually completely broken in terms of defense. They can get to 29 defense, 30 defense, really massive defense. So with multiplier damage or normal attacks, you're not gonna be dealing anything. Also because they have a lot of guard, so even with normal attacks, you're gonna be dealing less. But with fixed damage you can deal something to them, and when some of the units start dying because of fixed damage or just because they have been alive for a long part of the match, then you can start having these bench nukes, and probably these both units will activate under their time restrictions, and that's gonna be dealing massive damage from the bench. So that's a really good thing to do. Now I don't think Dex is performing as well as some other teams that we have seen and will be seeing, but that's it. So you would only have to pull on the B3 Zoro Legend debut, so let's assume that's 784 gems, and on the debut of the Cavendish PvP Limited Rare Recruit, that would be probably 181 gems. So that would be the Dex team. So finally we will talk now about the in team. So that would be an idea of a very good in team that you could build, but it's basically centered around the new Legend Moria, that it's basically completely broken in PvP. His special is kind of insane. I don't really understand why they did something like that, because I don't know if probably you already know what he does, but if you don't, then go check the video here on top. I talk in detail what he does in PvP, but basically, so that you get a fast idea, he will have the stats of 3 units guaranteed 100%, and having the stats does not include HP, but it halves the attack, it halves the defense stat and the speed stat, so that's massive debuffs to the enemy units. And if the unit is really tanky, it can amount to, I don't know, like level 12 defense down, insane, and in terms of attack down, also insane. I think more than level 20 attack down, I think it can be. So kind of really broken, like it's kind of ridiculous what he does, and also in terms of speed, a lot of speed down. But yeah, I would say minimum speed down level 10, so imagine, like at its minimum, it's the same debuff as Roger in terms of speed. So yeah, so Moria, it's obviously a really good unit, and the problem that it has is that some of the units that he can work with are not in together the best of the best teams. It's a really good team, but Quick Team can overdo them sometimes. But yeah, the thing is that it's kind of one together with the side team, it's the cheapest team to build, because you only have to pull for Legend Moria and that's it. So that would be 784 gems. And yeah, it's really good. We're gonna be talking about how what's performance against other teams is. But yeah, so that would be the in team. Here we have the final teams. Like, unfortunately, I couldn't put the image of versus Akainu here, so I had to use the image of the versus unit, but it's versus Akainu, not versus Ace. But yeah, that would be the final picture of like the at least JP anniversary Legends release. So this would be one of the options of the quick team. This would be the side team, the in team, and the dex team. So here on the side you can see how many gems it costs to build all of these teams. Now basically I would say that the two cheapest teams to build are the side team and the in team, and both of these teams are, I think, the same. So like you just have to pull on one banner. It just depends on the quality of the banner that we get on global, but we don't know that. But yeah, both of these teams are actually really good. Now, if I had to say what team is the best in JP, I think it would be the quick team is the best, then the in team, and then the side team. And the dex team probably the worst out of these four, but it's still gonna be a very good team. You see the massive bench that it has here. But yeah, so now you would be asking yourself, okay, then maybe it's better that I just pull for int, because I just have to pull for one banner and stuff like that. But here there's really complicated thought processes, which are like, okay, probably the unit that everyone is gonna be pulling for because it's really really good in the normal game is Ace versus Akainu, and I would definitely recommend that doing that. Also PvP wise, because Ace versus Akainu is not only good for a quick team, but it's also really really good for a strength team, which at the very least it can give you a very good defense team. But if in the future we get a unit that is just broken for strength, then definitely expect versus Ace to be there. So that's something that you're gonna be having there. But yeah, also in the normal game, versus Ace versus Akainu is a really really good unit to pull for. So I think pulling on that banner is probably what most of the people will be doing. And well, I would say PvP wise, B2 Kaido is a must pull. Like, I'm sorry, but he's just such an amazing unit. He's self-sufficient. If you cannot put him in the main team, you just put him in the bench. He's just so freaking good. His range is so good, and also his CT is kind of low. He's self-sufficient. His passive is broken. He gives massive to himself massive attack, which is making his special deal a sufficient amount of damage, and then massive speed and defense and stuff like that. So an HP, so kind of an insane unit. So I would say B2 Kaido is easy the best legend in PvP. And still now in global in JP, we will have to see with the release of the JP anniversary units, but I don't think that's gonna change. So B2 Kaido PvP wise, I think it's a must pull. So once we got there, like, if you're gonna be pulling on Ace versus Akainu and B2 Kaido, probably you should be just building the quick team at that point. So yeah, the quick team is gonna be a very good investment to build. But one thing that I want to mention is that with this spot in the side team, you can replace it for certain units, and you can kind of counter some quick teams and some in teams. So for example, if you're going up against a quick team, instead of a unit like this, that by the way, this V2 Kuzan could be Boa Hancock or Germa 66 or Shirahoshi, which by the way is really good for a side team. But you could use, for example, this, which is gonna look kind of weird. By the way, this is not in the positioning, right positioning or anything. But yeah, so you could use Corazon here, and that would be massive thing to do. By the way, there's an 8 unit here, but I didn't have the image now. But yeah, it's probably Solo Mask and Kaku and stuff like that, not Colgar Nolan. But if you want to use Colgar Nolan because he's Sai, then yeah, feel free to do that. But yeah, so basically you can use Corazon here to get a total of level 11 special city down and speed down to the quick units, because it's like, just think about it, like all these units are driven or powerhouse except for B3 Kusan, but B3 Kusan sometimes it's not even used in a quick team, because sometimes people prefer to use Treasure Map Queen or Rady Bankov or Bellamy and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of the times you're gonna be debuffing all the units, and maybe if not all the units, just 4 out of 5, which is a lot, with B3 low, so special city down level 6 and speed down level 6. And Corazon with his passive is giving not only your teammates attack up level 10 at the very start, but he's also giving quick enemies special city down level 5 and speed down level 5. So if you add that up, that's special city down level 11 and speed down level 11, which massively debuff quick. Now I have a clip that I'm gonna be showing you guys, that it's courtesy of a player called in JP player called Siq. Now definitely go and check him out if you don't know what he does. He is a JP player and he does some PvP content, so I will link it in the description of this video. Really good team builder, and yeah, I have also been talking with him about these things, so with which team would be better to pull on the JP, because as you probably could assume, with my levels on my units, I cannot really test those teams, even though I have the full quick team in JP except for PvP limited rare with Shiryu. I cannot really test it at its finest because I don't have the units rainbow or anything, not even full cotton candy, so it's kind of hard to make a decision about that. So I asked some help, and what he said, which by the way, this variation with Corazon, it's his idea. So what he said is that this variation with Corazon, it works really, really well in the early quick team. So with B2 Kaido and versus Akainu, but and even with Kuzan. But if you add Legend Magellan, then it becomes more like a 50-50 chance to win. And probably with Shiryu or definitely with the new Luffy, I think that's gonna the win rate of this variation is gonna be dropping. But just keep in mind that this variation with Enel can kind of counter a lot of quick teams, because just think about it, like not a lot of people are gonna be able to pull for Kaido and get him, pull for versus Akainu and get him, and pull for Magellan and get him. So it's kind of hard that these three units are in most of the player base teams. So I think investing on a kind of a side team that counters quick, it's a good investment, because you're gonna be seeing a lot of quick teams which are not the complete version of quick teams, and against those teams you can use this variation. So that's really, really useful. And against the in teams, you can actually replace the Corazon for this free-to-play unit actually, which is Kizuna Katakuri. So Kizuna Katakuri, I have the info here by the way, if you want to check it out. But basically, he will debuff Special City down level 4 to Ind units, and well, also increase the miss rate on the enemy units, which is not that relevant. But yeah, and the special is actually on a low cooldown and will give some damage to 3 enemies, which can be really good in a side team, because Rebecca and Toy Soldier are giving defense down, but a lot of the times Enel activates before Rebecca and Toy Soldier, so that defense down sometimes it's lost. But if you have a third unit that gives multiplier damage, then you can make use of that defense down. So yeah, here you have damage to 3 units, 1.5, and then well, further more speed down, well actually speed down to Ind units. So, and all Ind units by the way. So yeah, obviously really, really good. And I think I don't have clips about this, but I think this a team like this can kind of counter the Ind team. Also because, for example, the Enel resists damage from Ind and stuff like that. I think the Moria resists damage from Saido, but well, I think this could be really useful. So yeah, I think the side team is a very interesting team, also because it's gonna be the first team that will be able to destroy the slashers. So once Enel releases, the slasher reign will end. So you will no longer have to suffer if you have the Enel and Rebecca and Toy Soldier against slashers or anything. It's just gonna be easy wins. So I mean, probably I think you could still lose if you have bad RNG, I guess, but for what I have been told is easy win a slasher team, because and it's normal because defense down level 8 to slashers, and then special city down level 5 with massive tankiness. Yeah, I think the slashers are pretty lost. And also I have tested some variations with Enel and Rebecca and Toy Soldier, and I have been able to beat a lot of slasher teams. So yeah. So my final conclusion would be, like, if you want to pull for versus Akainu and you are that invested in PvP that you are considering my advice on basically that Kaido is a must pull PvP wise, and you're gonna be pulling for Kaido, then probably if you are not a person that will spend money in the game and will pull for this Magellan, or is willing to test his luck and see if he gets the Magellan without getting him being able to get him guaranteed, then a quick team is a good investment, definitely, because it's gonna be the meta team. But if you are someone that is lacking on a lot of gems, doesn't think that will be able to pull for Ace versus Akainu or and Kaido and Magellan and well the anniversary Luffy and PvP limited record Shiryu, then the side team, I think it's one of the other best investments, because even though it is the full side team, it's not as strong as a quick team or an in team. I think you can do some very, very cool variations with the side team and kind of counter quick teams and in teams. So the side team approximately will cost you 784 gems, which is the same that the in team will cost you, but the in team doesn't have that viability to counter quick, because maybe there are some variations of the in team that can actually beat the quick team, but I think it's pretty hard. So I think even though the in team is probably the second strongest team, I don't think it's worth investing in it, even though it's really cheap. Also, it's 784 gems, but I think in terms of the two cheapest teams, I think the side team is the most worth investing into. Not only because at the very start you're gonna be able to just destroy slashers, destroy the first variation of quick that appeared. So investing on a side team, pulling for NL is gonna be a really easy 2 or 3 months for you. And then when the full meta quick team starts appearing, then you're gonna be having a little bit more problems. But I think if you pull, for example, for B2 Kaido anyway, because I think he's a massable unit, and are lucky in the French Annie, maybe we get some crazy celebration. You could get the 3 units like Kaido versus Akainu and Enel, and I think if you have these 3 units, you are pretty safe. The only problem I see, and it's really annoying for me, is that this Magellan is coming right after the Ace versus Akainu, which is really annoying because it's a lot of top meta legends at the same time, one after the other. So it's difficult to get all of them. But yeah, so in terms of the Dex team, I think it's really good, but I don't think it can perform that well against all these teams. I think sometimes it can get the win, but it's not that safe. But definitely a really strong team. So yeah, it's also kind of cheap, not as much, but yeah. So if you're a fan of Dex, Dex can be really good. But apart from that, I would say the three top teams are these three that you see, and you have to plan depending on if you are free to play and stuff like that. You have to start saving gems, I think, and maybe even skipping some banners that will be coming, like the Sanji Pudding, even though it's really good unit. Maybe some even PvP limited rare recruit units that are really amazing, like the PvP Law and stuff like that. So maybe you could consider skipping those banners, because there's gonna be a lot of legends releasing that are relevant for the meta. But yeah, so let me know in the comment section down below what you think of these teams, and let me know also what teams are you gonna be aiming for, what units are you gonna be wanting to pull for, and stuff like that. But yeah. So I wanted to show you a clip, the clip that I mentioned of created by Siq, the player in JP that I have talked about, and it was a clip of showing the quick team, sorry, the side team with Corazon beating a particular variation of the quick team. But I had some problems with the quality of the video. Like, the quality of the video was fine, but when I was trying to upload the video, it was showing like very bad quality in the video. I don't know, because it was a YouTube clip, but I will try to fix that. But for the moment, I cannot show you the particular clip. I mean, definitely in the future I will be showing you guys when I have the unit and stuff like that in global. But I would like to show you before also, so I'm gonna be having to see what I can do about it. But for the moment, yes, just yeah, that variation beats a lot of quick teams, and it does work. I wanted to show you, but it does work. So yeah, but as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.